I'm Tyler.
I'm Shorty.
I'm Miles.
I'm Kara.
And we are The Inner Idiot.
Hey, Ty, if you wanted to make a podcast, how would you do it?
Spotify Podcasters app, of course. Or hell, even the website.
Do they have any way you can edit audio and help with organizing your episodes?
All that and more. You can reach out to listeners and have feedback with their Q&A feature, and it distributes it to all other major places you listen to podcasts.
I just looked, and they got a video podcast set up and editing tools here, too.
So all you got to do is sign up at SpotifyForPodcasters.com or get the app and you're done.
Damn, it's just that easy.
Drop what you're doing, swallow what you're chewing, because it ain't wet from sweat and we ain't done yet. Welcome to Inner Idiot Podcast. I am your host, the big, the bald, the beautiful, the brash, the bumbling, and the oftentimes bastardly MC Tyler Havlin. And I talk slow and I walk slower because that's just how I roll, people. We're going to dive right into it today. We have an awesome guest, but I ain't going to intro him next because he's
Hold on. Let's do this right. 2 claps and a Ric Flair for MC Tyler Havlin.
Woo! Next up, he is the Lord that's never bored, the commander of the comic books. He's been grabbing kitty and petting titty since I don't know when, and I got that completely reversed, but that's okay. His nipples are out, his shirt is off, and that's all for you ladies. 2 claps and Ric Flair for Lord Shorty Fresh in the flesh. Woo! Bro, we discussed this over the weekend, but you really are a whitewashed Danny Trejo, brother. You look like a whitewashed Danny Trejo.
Does that mean I just look old as fuck?
Well, you look like a younger version of Danny Trejo.
Okay, I'll take that, I guess.
Next up, all the way from Vegas, here to save us. He's big sexy on 2 wheels. What was the second part of that? I don't remember. God damn it. Look, I fucked up the intro. It's all right. It's going to really bother me that I didn't remember what the other one was. Oh, well, 2 claps and Ric Flair for Wade Spin Love. Woo! What's going on today, buddy?
You know, another day in paradise. Just getting no sleep and cleaning up liquid dog shit all day.
Hey, man, you'll have that on these big jobs, dude. That's always fun. The joys of puppy dogs. So today we're talking about funny date, bad date stories, weird date stories. I got a few compiled, but the first segment's going to be all about Wade and his experiences. But let me ask you guys, one big dating no-no is sending dick pics, right? I ain't never in my goddamn life woke up and looked at my girth worm and said to myself, self, you know, your thunder thimble's looking awfully photogenic today. Maybe we should just take a picture and commemorate this moment and send it to random strangers on the internet. Wait, have you ever done that?
I mean, not right when I wake up.
No, you wait. Does it have to be a good dick day?
No. I used to, I was, I don't like to send that kind of stuff in general. But I mean, obviously I have. But when I was, I think, just out of high school or just at the end of high school, I would send. I did the whole sneaky ass shit where you send it to somebody that you're interested in. And you're like, oh shit, it's the wrong person.
That's funny. But did you ever send it? Did you see the comments there, Shorty?
Yes.
Okay. Did you ever accidentally for real send shit to the wrong person? I do it all the time, dude. Because I'll be running 4 or 5 different messages and I'll think I switch, but not my PP. Never the PP.
No, I've definitely sent messages to the wrong person, but never my dick on accident. Not actually on accident. But I did have one time, one of my friends was, he asked to borrow my phone. I let him borrow it. And he goes in the bathroom and starts taking dick pics and sending it to all the people in his school off of my number.
Oh, but
then
it
he
was
didn't
his
delete-
dick.
Yeah.
Was
but
he at
didn't
least
delete-
packing?
Well, yeah. I mean, he was a tall, lanky black dude. So,
Oh, okay. Yeah.
but of course, he didn't tell me and he didn't delete the pictures. So my dad finds my phone one day and starts scrolling through it. And then he's convinced that I like black gay men because I've got some black dude's dick on my phone. And it wasn't just his dick. It was like fucking mid-thigh up.
That's fucking great, man.
Was it? Because my dad, it took me a long time to convince him I'm not gay.
Hey, what's the matter if he did think it? Like, so he skimps you at the family barbecue every once in a while. You don't get the burnt weenies. He just gives you a hamburger.
I feel like the weenies is all he would give me because that's the kind of person he was.
Yeah, there's that.
Yeah, he was the type to tease me mercilessly about it.
That sounds like a fun-loving dad right there. Let me ask you something. Would he have been accepting if you were gay?
I mean, he would have loved me,
I mean that's the important part, right?
but he would have still teased the fuck out of me, even if I actually was gay.
Yeah. But here you are, just slaying it in your twilight years.
Funnily enough, my sister ended up coming out of the closet.
That's the one that lives in Cincinnati, right?
Yeah.
The one that we're supposed to have on the show. Have you worked your magic yet?
Honestly, dude, she's been so busy. Like, I don't even remember the last time I talked to her. I've texted her a couple times here and there, like, "Hey, we need to catch up." And she's like, "Yeah, I'll call you as soon as I have some time to actually sit and chat and catch up." And it's been months.
All right. Well, now that we got the sound all worked out, you told me this story yesterday, and before you tell it, I want to tell you after you tell it, I have some theories about what actually happened.
All right.
So this isn't actually a date, but it was the first time, correct?
It wasn't the first time. It was the last time, but it wasn't the first time.
I'd hope it was the last time, because if my theories are wrong, then there was something fucked up going on.
No, it was definitely the last time.
How many times had happened prior to this, though?
So she and I were together for like 3 weeks.
That's it.
I actually I met her at it was an ex-girlfriend's friend on Facebook. And she and I used to like banter in that girl's comments and in the ex's comments.
That's how it always starts.
Yeah, and then we started like messaging here and there. And one day she invites me out to her birthday party in like buttfuck Egypt.
Her birthday party?
Yeah.
Okay.
Was she Egyptian?
No.
Oh, well, that would have made the buttfuck Egyptian a little bit funnier. But all right, go ahead.
No, she was in a little city called Boulder City. It's like 45 minutes from my house.
I've heard of Boulder City. I don't know where and why, but I have.
Probably like Hoover Dam or some shit.
That's probably it.
He's big sexy on two wheels, and he'll get you in your feels. That's what it was. God damn it. Brain squirrel.
So yeah, she invites me to this party, and she's like, I get down there. I don't know anybody. I've never really been to Boulder City outside of like family trips out to the dam. And I'm kind of hanging out for a while, and then somebody shows up that I know. It's my ex-girlfriend and her new boyfriend.
Good, so shit wasn't weird at all.
Yeah, and then a little while later, another ex-girlfriend shows up with her boyfriend.
Jesus Christ.
So you had references at this party.
A couple of them.
Yeah, so like when you put your application in, you're like, look, you can ask them bitches.
I wouldn't have put one of them in there because actually that's another story I could tell for this too.
Okay.
Because that was a first time sex story. One of them would not have given me a good reference.
Would you have given her a good reference?
No, she was a twat.
She's a fucking twat.
I haven't heard that word used in a degrading like that in a long time. And I'm glad I have.
That is one of my favorite words.
Twat?
Yes.
Oh, man, I
Twat
love it.
waffle, twat muffin.
Yeah, it's always got to be
twat muffin.
hyphenated.
Dude, I have never heard
Sickle.
twat muffin.
Yeah, you got to hyphenate the twat.
I love
I
that.
like twat sickle a lot.
I heard that one. I like it. I'm here for it.
So we're at this party, and these two girls with their new boyfriends show up, and I really am just feeling awkward because I don't know anybody but them, and I'm not going to talk to them.
Right.
So the birthday girl comes up, and she has a bag of mushrooms.
Oh, hell yeah.
Somebody just gave me these for my birthday. Do you want to split it with me? I was like, yeah, screw it, let's do it. I had never done mushrooms before. In fact, the only drug up to that point that I had done was marijuana.
Right.
But there's first time for everything.
Right. But you're not supposed to do mushrooms, especially for the first time, around people you don't know, around in a place that you're not familiar with.
And a place you're uncomfortable.
Yeah.
But hey, when in Egypt, do as the Egyptians do.
So I did the mushrooms with her, and it actually turned out to be I had a great time. Ended up staying up all night, whatever, hanging out, and then we kind of chatted here and there, but when I joined the Navy, we ended up like reconnecting, and I don't remember exactly how it happened, but I ended up getting her to move out to California with me.
Jesus.
Hold on. So this relationship lasted 3 weeks, but you moved this person. Bro, you know I love you, but that's kind of...
I was a horrible, horrible person when I was in the Navy. Okay. This was not the only female that I convinced to move to San Diego and move in with me. And then I broke up with him a couple weeks later.
God damn. Jesus Christ.
Oh, God.
I lived in the Vegas area. But
That's where you grew up. That's all you do.
Yeah. So rather than driving out to Vegas to do stuff, I'd get him to move to San Diego.
Now, hold on.
Wasn't it just easier to find bitches in San Diego?
It's a different type of person.
Okay.
It's a different type of person. They weren't ready for all of the emo-ness that Wade had to offer back then.
Yeah, that's fair. San Diego's real uppity.
Yeah. And I was I was the rocker punker type, but I dressed like a scene kid.
Word.
Now, after you broke up with these women, did they stay in San Diego, or did they fucking take their happy asses back to Vegas?
Most of them took their happy asses back to Vegas. One stayed in San Diego and actually ended up marrying my roommate.
Hey, man, little miracles, brother. Look, you're out here you're making people's lives.
Except then she asked me to give her a tattoo that was for him, and he lost his shit that I was the one that gave the tattoo.
That's
so now
awesome.
I don't talk to either of them anymore.
That's fantastic.
That really is. That's fucking epic.
Look at this tattoo I got for you. Oh, that's awesome. Who's the artist who did it? My ex? What?
Your roommate.
You're one of your best friends? What the fuck?
How dare he touch her skin?
Where was the tattoo at?
On her forearm.
Oh, well, that's not bad.
Yeah, it's not like it was like her deep in her thigh.
I know.
Bro,
I wouldn't have wanted to go in there.
Bro,
I'd been in there.
Have you ever seen somebody with a tattoo on the inside of their butt cheeks?
No.
Like you have to open that bitch out, like on the back thrust, and the butt cheeks are open.
On the inside of each cheek?
Yeah. I seen that shit for the first time yesterday.
Tell you I used to watch YouTube videos of tattoo horror stories.
Mm-hmm.
Did I ever tell you about the guy who talked about getting tattooing somebody's butthole?
No.
No,
you had never told
well,
me.
I'll let Wade finish his shit, then I'll tell mine.
All right.
Funny you say shit.
Oh, God.
Yes, funny you say shit.
So this particular girl, I ended up getting her to move out to San Diego with me. We'd been, hooking up for a couple of weeks. She was fun. She was super fun. Like, I remember one time she was like, she was doing something, talking back or something. And I was like, you better be careful. I'm going to whip out my dick and smack you in the face with it. And so she kept doing it. And so I did. And then she grabbed it and started sucking it. I mean, it was fun. She was fun, right? Well, one time in particular.
Was this the last time?
It was the last time, yeah. The last time that we hooked up.
While living together.
While living together, yep. We were in the living room. My roommates were all outside smoking. I don't think I mentioned that part, Saint or Tyler. So my roommates are all outside smoking on the back patio, and we're in the living room where we can see the back patio. And I'm going to town, fucking the shit out of her. And after a minute, I'm like, all right, I'm getting close to being ready to finish. So I flip her over, go in doggy, because that always finishes me off quick.
Sure.
So I can't start with that position, even though I like it.
Right.
But I flip her over, and lo and behold, much to my surprise, there is a brown streak leading up her ass crack to like halfway up her back. She wiped her ass with a fucking pool noodle. So now I ask you, have you ever had a job to do, but you didn't know if you had the strength to do it? Because this wasn't one of those situations. I finished the fuck out of that shit. And then we never did it again.
You should have started making doodles on her back with her doodle.
Oh, gross. Fuck that.
Did you even ask, like, hey, girl, you didn't wipe very well?
No, I don't think I even ever told her.
Bro, you should tell her. Tell me the name so I can add this person on Facebook.
Jesus Christ. Man, you realize you left him a turd noodle?
So here's my thoughts. One, were you guys out of toilet paper at the house since you lived together? What was your ass looking like at this time?
My ass is always spotless.
What did you guys...
I will make that shit bleed to make sure it's clean.
Yeah, you got to wipe with sandpaper sometimes, dude. Like, the rougher the better.
Exactly. Unlike that college ruled shit they got at Walmart and shit.
Yeah. College ruled. Bro, if you ever wipe, man, notebook paper hurts. Because sometimes, you're in the thick of it. You got to use what's around you. But
is the paper in the thick of you?
Yeah, all up in my leg.
His ass, but
so my first thought when you told me this story is that you just fucked the shit out of her, quite literally, and because she was on her back, the couch itself made it run up her back. My next question is, what did you do with the couch? Because obviously there had to have been some on the couch.
It was a futon that
that just makes it better.
The roommate that ended up getting pissed off because of his
the tattoo situation.
Girlfriend, that guy, he was sleeping on that couch, so I just left it.
Oh, good.
Man. So there was did you speak to her after the incident at all?
I mean, I basically put my pants on, ran outside and smoked, and then went and took a shower. And because when you're a smoker, after sex, you got to have a cigarette.
Yeah.
Right. Yeah.
So then I went and took a shower. I never told her about it. She got dressed. It probably got in her, it was probably in her clothes and shit too. But we never spoke about it. We never hooked up again. And then actually we really never spoke again until recently.
How long ago was this event?
Oh shit, man. I was in the Navy. I got out of the Navy in 2010. So it was probably in either early 2010 or late 2009.
Damn.
All right. So you said you've spoken to her recently?
Yeah. She actually messaged me a few weeks back.
Okay. And, so I am a firm believer that enough time has passed that you have to talk to this woman about this.
Not about, well, maybe actually.
Just look, maybe she's holding on to that. Maybe it's a core memory for her at this point. She's like, look, I fucked this dude and he never spoke to me again. Like, you might help her out in her next relationship. Like, look, girly, you got to wipe better, hon. You know?
I've never claimed to be a savior. So,
well, maybe
if that's a core memory for her, I'll just leave it like that.
Listen. Sometime, like, you will be asked to be a hero when you least expect it, and this might be your time.
I feel like me finishing was the fact that was me being a hero.
I think he's right here. I think finishing was pretty fucking heroic. Dude, I've done some shit, and I don't know if I flip a motherfucker over and there's a fucking road map of shit on their back that I'm finishing.
Honestly, bro, I think any dude that's that close to being done with, unless they're like a huge fucking germaphobe, I think they're gonna fucking finish.
Dude, I don't know that I could have finished, and I've done some nasty shit.
Saint Tyler,
yeah,
you eat butthole.
Yes, okay? I do. I'm okay with
like
that.
He was about to say it's delicious.
but the said butthole has to be clean. Like, I'm not going down on Charlie and the fucking chocolate factory here.
Look, let's be real. Unless you're doing anal, it doesn't really matter because you just lean back a little farther, finish it out, and you're good.
Man, I'd be laughing though for sure. Like, and then they're gonna ask me.
I was definitely like, my initial reaction was, and then it was like,
bro, I have a hard time lying. So like, if they would have asked me why I'm laughing, I would have had to have told them like, hey, I'm getting a 2-for-1 here. I'm gonna finish out and I'm making artwork on your back.
Think about it like this, though. You're not lying. You're kneeling.
Oh, boo. I finally got to boo somebody.
Yeah.
Bro,
you gotta think, man. I got 3 kids, so I got dad jokes galore.
Right? I got short legs though, so really kneeling is the only way for me to do it. Like if a girl is like 5'5", 5'6", our legs are the same length, and I'm 6 foot. It's crazy.
Big torso.
Yeah, long torso. I have to tippy toe to hit it from behind.
I'm like the complete opposite. I got long legs and a tiny torso.
Yeah, I don't have those problems. All right, so dude, that was a great story. I fucking love it. Let's hear the midget story because this one fascinates me.
Midgets?
All right. So,
yes.
One of the guys in my club it was his birthday, and he got a midget.
You can't just get people. That's not okay. That's illegal now.
His old lady, actually. His old lady got the midget for him.
A midget stripper.
Midget stripper. Yep.
Perfect.
So they kick us out. They say that the midget's almost there. They kick us out of the garage.
The person McNugget.
Yeah, person McNugget. I like that. So we're all sitting outside, smoking, drinking, having a good time. And then his old lady comes out and says, all right, y'all can come in. So we went in the garage. They had some tables moved around, or the chairs and tables moved around. So most of the guys sit down at the tables, but there's 3 chairs.
It didn't have to be a big area. She was tiny.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, yeah. So, yeah, they had 3 chairs sitting in front of the tables, right? They're trying to get 3 of us to sit in those chairs. I'm a prospect.
Yeah, no doubt. Front row, buddy.
You got to sit up here. I did, right?
Yeah.
So birthday boy and me, we were the only ones that went up there.
Oh, what a bunch of other bitches, dude.
I wouldn't say they're bitches, but
you got to get a front row seat to that thing.
Let me just when I describe the stripper, I think you might understand a little bit. So we're all sitting there waiting. They've got music playing, and all of a sudden, one of the cabinets in front of us opens up, and this little Filipino stripper.
For some reason, that makes it so much funnier.
She looks pregnant. Okay.
Oh no.
She's just got that she's portly and got one of those round Prego bellies.
Portly.
Portly. She was a portly woman.
I mean,
please tell me It's a Small World was playing.
It was not, but that would be hilarious. So she comes out of the closet dressed in Alice in Wonderland dress.
Oh God.
Should have been dressed as the Cheshire. Sounds like it.
Do you want to see my Wonderland?
So the whole night I'd been telling everybody that it's kind of my dream to fuck a stripper.
A stripper or a midget?
Or a midget. Fuck a midget.
Okay.
Yeah, I was gonna say.
Strippers are a lot easier. Midgets, not so easy. So I was also drunk enough that this portly Filipino midget, I would have done it. Now, I don't normally jump on grenades. Actually, I have, I could probably count on one hand the amount of times that I have. And actually, on one finger, I could count the amount of times that I have.
Was it this time?
It wasn't. I'm a classy bitch. So I've only done it once. But I would have done it that night. So she gives the birthday boy his lap dance and all that, right? And then she comes over to me and she gives me a lap dance that's like 10 times better.
She knew you were into it. She's like, this motherfucker's going to give me dick if I want it. I can't get pregnant already. I can't get pregnant twice.
She was like grabbing my hand and making me grab her tits and shit like that. Like she was into it, right? And at the end, you know, because I had been talking all night about how I want to fuck a midget. The birthday boy's old lady, she comes up to me and she's like, "Hey, I told the midget that you think she's cute, and so she said I could give you her number."
Oh no!
So she gave me her number, and I was like, I wasn't gonna be all fucking flowery and oh you're so pretty or none of that bullshit. I'm not a liar. I was just gonna talk
Make
to her
this fantasy come true.
Well, the old lady, she saw what I was texting, was like, "That is so lame." No, and she snatched my phone and started texting her. Right? She's like, "You're so beautiful," and all this shit. Right? Well, then the midget leaves, and I'm texting her, like, "So, what do you got going on the rest of the night?" She's like, "Oh, I've got another dance after this." Fuck. Like, well, what are you doing after that? We're still gonna be up. She's like, "No, I've got to. It's gonna be a long night. Blah 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 blah. But I'll text you tomorrow or something." So I didn't actually get to fuck her. She did text me the next day, but I was sober at that point, and I remember what she looked like. Plus, I've got video. So
As soon as you're
that wasn't
sober,
happening anymore.
as soon as you're sober, you're like, "Oh, I'm disgusting."
Yeah, it was really gross.
That's awesome.
Oh, that's fucking great, man. This is fucking. How many like actual people McNuggets do you know? Have you met?
She's the first one I've ever met.
Like in real life. Shorty, what about you?
I have met 3.
I have met one, and I dated his daughter. His daughter was of normal height, though.
Interesting.
And she was one of the most gorgeous women I've ever dated. It was one of my first girlfriends, too. She was chef kisses. His oldest daughter was gorgeous.
Was this before or after you lost your filter?
It was before.
Okay, so you were like, "Oh, this is a little person. I can be polite to him."
Yeah, I grew up around him. His name was Willie, and we all called him Uncle Swill Eye. And it was funny because he'd always show up to our 4th of July. We used to have these big 4th of July parties, and he'd always show up in like this American flag tank top with his American flag shorts and this big fucking Honest Abe hat that was American flag. Dude, he was a
He's an American leprechaun.
Yes. But dude, it was great. But yeah, I dated his normal sized daughter. It was fun times. His normal sized daughter, we were young, like 7th, 8th grade, would tell people that before we even dated. I don't know what it was, but she's like, "Yeah, I lost my virginity to this guy," and I was the guy that she said, right? And we had never done anything. We had never even held hands. So then we date. And this is how much I've changed over the years. We dated for like 2 months, and she broke up with me because I was too slow. Like, I wouldn't kiss her. I wouldn't do nothing.
Oh, cute little Tyler was like,
I was just
want to hold hands?
I was afraid of it.
Stop it.
Dude, I had one like that as well, except I was a much later bloomer. So I was 17.
Yeah? You was afraid of it, huh?
Dude, I was terrified, man. Little Mormon kid, didn't know anything.
You were a Mormon? Did we discuss this last time?
Yeah.
I don't think so. Did we?
I think we did.
I didn't know you were a
I
Mormon.
think it came up.
Do you have special underwear?
Yeah.
Nice.
Special underwear?
Yeah, Mormons have special underwear. Dude, the Mormons have a fucked up religion.
All right, I need to hear about this special underwear before we go to the next segment.
I'll tell you about it another time, man.
Okay. I'll Google it.
I have a funny.
There you go. That's a better idea.
I have a funny sex poop story.
A funny sex. Oh, let's hear that before we go to the next segment.
Okay, so I'm over at Buddy's house and we're all playing fucking video games and shit, just hanging out, having a good old time. His roommate is in his room, fucking his girlfriend. But we're all like, we're out there and like we hear it, we just whatever. We turn up the TV, keep playing video games, having a good time. We're not paying attention to his roommate and his fucking old lady fucking in the back. Well, like, I don't know, 5-10 minutes go on, nothing exciting happens or nothing. But all of a sudden, homie comes busting out of the bedroom, covered, I mean, from like his midsection down in shit. And he's like, fuck it. He comes busting out the fucking door. She's shitting! She's shitting! And he like is running into the fucking bathroom. And we're all like, what the fuck? And of course, we're jumping over the fucking couch, run to the goddamn room. And this girl is bent over, fucking face first in the fucking bed, and like projectile pooping out. No. And it is going fucking everywhere. And like, it's all for us to see, dude. I mean, this girl's a chocolate fountain right now. And we're like, what the fuck is happening? Like, we're freaking out. This poor girl's crying. We're trying to figure out what's fucking going on. Well, this girl, like, grabs her clothes, grabs this dude's blanket, and just runs out the fucking apartment.
She had to have been mortified.
Dude, I've never seen her again. I don't know if she's dead or in, like, a psych ward. But, like,
Probably committed suicide.
Dude, like, I don't know. But we looked it up. And we were like, because we asked, homeboy, what happened? He was like, dude, I don't know. I was just fucking her in the butt. And like, it just went everywhere. I don't know what happened. Well, we had to look it up. Apparently there's a gland or a button basically inside the butthole that if you hit it, it just forces all bowels to be released.
Wow. So how have we not heard about this before with anal?
I don't
probably
know.
Just can't reach it.
Maybe, yeah, I don't, you know what? There was too much poop. But like, I can't remember how big the dude's dick was.
I mean, it was covered in shit anyway.
Yeah, it was covered in shit. So, there's no telling.
I don't know about y'all, but that's like an anti-erectile medication.
Yeah.
Right there.
Yeah.
Oh my God.
I don't know, dude, but it was one of the funniest fucking things I've ever seen in my entire life. Because, I mean, he'd come out busting out of the fucking room faster than fuck. She's shitting! She's shitting! And he's just running down the hallway to the fucking bathroom.
That's fucking gross.
Dude, it was awesome.
All right.
Fantastic.
On that note, we're going to take a little pause for the cause, and we'll be right back.
I'm probably going to be heading out. I got to get to work.
Well, thank you for coming on, man. We appreciate the stories.
Anytime. I got plenty.
You're welcome back at any time, brother.
All right, man. I appreciate it.
All right, hit the button.
Do you love podcasts? Of course you do. That's why you're here. But you know what's even better than listening to a podcast? Making your own. That's right, and Anchor makes it simple. I'm your favorite host, MC Tyler Havlin, and I'm telling you, go download the Anchor app today, Anchor FM. They have all the tools you need to get started today. And best part is, it's totally free. They push it out to all the major platforms like Spotify, Apple, Google Podcasts. So get started today, people. Go download the app, Anchor FM. I'll wait. Do it now.
And we're back. Big shout out to Wade for coming on for the first segment. It's always a blast having him on there. And now I got some listener submissions for bad dates that people have been on or weird things that have happened to them.
Okay.
So this first one comes from Angie in Indiana.
Okay.
So I didn't get a lot of backstory, but this was the first date this woman had been on with this man, and they went to the movies, and he started randomly licking her face and hand.
What the fuck?
Yes.
That's so bizarre.
How does that happen? Like, what makes you think you're sitting there watching a movie, you're like, you know what? Let me lick this girl's face. Have you ever just licked somebody's face?
I mean, I used to lick my girlfriend's face when I wanted to piss her off and shit.
But you knew her.
Oh, yeah, 100%.
Y'all have been dating. It wasn't the first date sitting
No, fuck no. That's so weird. I couldn't imagine. And I mean, I didn't do that till, like, me and my ex dated for a long time. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, we had fucking had at least our 2nd year anniversary, and I'm gonna lick your face to piss you off now.
I mean,
it worked.
The other part of this is like, I don't want to lick somebody's face in general. That's really weird coming from me, considering the other things I lick.
Mm-hmm.
But
yes, it is.
But if it's a first date, she's probably wearing makeup.
Maybe he wanted to see her true beauty.
That could very well be it. I like this plan. That could be the only real
Maybe he was sitting there thinking during the movie, like, man, this bitch is wearing a lot of makeup. I need to get rid of that. I don't have any water.
She doesn't seem like a heavy makeup type of person.
I don't know, man. Like, maybe his brain was in the wrong place.
All right, the next one comes from her also.
Oh, God. This woman has a lot.
It's like I said, man, the fucking dating pool's worse than the housing market in 2023. It's just horrible. So the next one, and I believe she actually worked with this guy. They went out on a date, and he had to leave because of his time constraints on his work release.
Awesome.
Yeah. So didn't even know this dude was just out on work release. Could you imagine, dude? That would be fucking horrifying. Absolutely horrifying.
I once asked a girl out and she told me no, and I was like, oh, okay. And I didn't ask for a reason. I just took my L and went with it. And she was like, it's because I'm on house arrest. And I was like, okay. And I was like, all right, well, maybe another time. And I'm walking away. I'm like, dodged a bullet.
Right? Like, I don't want to date anybody on house arrest. That's weird. I don't mind going to people's houses. Like, to me, that's perfectly acceptable. Just fucking chill, get to know each other. But, like, if you
She had a call to get permission to go to the grocery store.
That's fucking weird.
Yeah. Like, she had to call them and let them know that where she was going, when she was going there.
Damn.
Dude, house arrest is fucked. Because I asked her once I found out, and like she said no or whatever, and I walked up to her and I was like, so how do you do things? Oh, just
ask permission.
Yeah. And I was like, what are you, fucking 12? Get out of here. I haven't had to ask permission to do shit.
I'm sure I'm going to forget some people that sent me in stories because I got a couple of them. The next one comes from Brian in Carson City.
Okay.
I'm going to read part of it, paraphrase part of it.
Okay.
His words, I was set up on a date by a friend with one of her friends. She gave the chick my phone number and we started texting each other. She was going hot and heavy, texting every day, telling me she wants to meet me, my dog, etc. We finally set a date to connect and she tells me that she wants to make out. And it's like a pre-date request, which this has happened to me before. And here's the problem. I don't know if he had ever seen this chick, but here's the problem that's happened with me. Filters are a fucking thing now. You don't know what somebody really looks like until you meet them in person.
Correct. Yes.
Now, I don't care how good the vibe is going. If you can't make that connection initially, Like, if I'm not that attracted to you, then I'm gonna take I'm gonna need a little more time, a little more personality to kick in.
Sure. Yeah, absolutely.
So like I've even had somebody saying like, well, can we make out on this date? Dude, swear to God, at my age, they still say this shit. And I'm like, we'll see how it goes. And at the end of my date, she's like, you want to come in and make out? And I'm like, and she was fairly attractive, but like I'm trying to be a good guy. You know what I mean? I'm like, no, I'm just going to go home.
I'm not just a piece of meat for you.
Right? So I went home and I never heard from the girl again.
You didn't want to slip her no tongue, dog.
I guess. All right. Anyways, back to his story. So it was like a pre-date request. Not knowing this chick, I was kind of skittish and non-committal about it all. But we agreed to meet for a date. We meet at a bar in a neighboring town for a beer. This bitch is uglier than my foot. Her pics did not match at all. Turns out she's still married. She has a bunch of baggage. She keeps telling me she wants to make out. And at this point, I'm not about that life.
No doubt.
Being nice, I offered to continue getting dinner. I mean, I'm a fat ass, so... We get dinner, chat a bit, then I take her back to the bar where we met. She refuses to get out of my car until I listen to a Chris Stapleton song she's into. So I listen to the song and throw massive hints that I need to go home. She won't leave my fucking car, so I get out of the car, swing around to the passenger side, open the door, and she tries to shove her tongue down me. Not just down my throat, down my soul. I refuse and tell her that I don't kiss on the first date. She takes it at face value and tells me that I don't know what I'm missing. Next day, she gives me the good morning text. I ignore it. Then later on, I get boobs via text. Boobs were better than her face, so I appreciated it. But still, no response. That night, I get an Arby's photo. Nastiest puss
no.
The fact that he said I get an Arby's photo, I felt it. Nastiest puss I've ever seen. Still, I send no response. Finally, she DMs me on Facebook, obviously because I have read receipts on the Book of Face.
Right.
I kindly respond that I'm no longer interested and leave it alone. Next thing you know, I'm blocked on Facebook. Then my phone blows up with paragraph messages about how I made them send me boob and Arby's photos. A few days later, she unblocks me from Facebook, sends me a friend request, and sends me another Arby's photo saying I'm thinking about you. At that point, I blocked her.
That's so wild.
Bro, it is.
What the fuck?
I don't understand how these things can happen. Like, I don't know. To me, you know my thoughts on the female gender. I think they're the superior gender. I think they have their shit together more than us in general. So that kind of thing, it just really trips me up when these things happen.
Right. Well, I mean, it just, I don't know. Like, some men, sure. But, like, not every dude wants to get their, your tongue stuck down them.
Right. Some of us need warmed up a little bit. You got to swoon some of us.
Yeah.
You know? Fuck. All right, next one.
Definitely don't lie about your goddamn photos.
Dude, that's like I'm not gonna lie. Like I'm big on the angles when I fucking put my photo out there. But it looks like me. You know?
I assume.
So
I've never scrolled past your dating profile, Ty.
it's the same pictures that are on my regular profile. Only the ones without kids, because I don't put my kids on my dating profile.
Right.
That's fucking weird. Like, I have children. I don't need to put their picture on here.
Right.
Because, dude, motherfuckers are just strange this day. In age. Yeah, you know. All right, the next one comes from... Did I ask permission? Okay, I did. Because I always got to ask permission if I can use a story. This one comes from our good friend Tabby in Louisville.
Oh, good.
There was this one dude that I had met on Mojo. We seemed to click very well. I drove 20 miles to go pick him up for us to hang out. He had chick roommates. which was totally fine with her. Turns out they weren't just roommates. Turns out that he was fucking them secretly. One was pregnant, and the other was madly in love with him and wanted me dead. Dude, that's some weird shit. He also had 2 that she knew one of, baby mamas already from previous relationships in the past year. He was 23.
Ooh.
Yeah. Dodged a bullet there.
Fuck that.
She actually sent me a second one. Dude, have you ever had any weird first dates?
The weirdest one I can think of is when I got pushed into a double date to which the other couple I did not know, and they were fighting.
Oh, that's uncomfortable. It can be fun, but it's uncomfortable.
In all honesty, it turned out to be a huge amount of fun, but it was super awkward for because we were supposed to go out to dinner to GameWorks, and then fucking there was something else going on down there on the river, down by the levee. And so we're supposed to meet at Brothers. That's the plan. And again, I think this is supposed to be just her and I, not 2 additional people. So I walk in and I tell her, like, hey, and it's cold outside. I said, hey, I'm wearing a leather duster. I said, I got and a gray flat cap. I said, I'm standing by the door. She's like, she goes, we're in the back. Who's we? Who's were? We're what? So I walk back and I'm looking around. I do see her. She looks just like her photos. She's very pretty. And so I walk in and she's sitting there with 2 people. I just assumed she ran into 2 homies that were just there. And she was going to get up and go to other table. Well, she was like, here you go. And like, she stood up and I was like, what's up? She's like, here, have a seat. I was like, is this us? She's like, yeah. So like, I took off my jacket. I set it down. And I'm like, what's going on? And they're like, oh, I'm so-and-so and I'm so-and-so. We're friends with her. I'm like, why?
Why would you do this to me?
And they were like, oh, I figured it'd be nice to have a double date. I'm like, oh, okay. And like, I try to break the ice with a joke. And like, I can tell these 2 people are mad at each other. Like, just like, he doesn't acknowledge anything that she's doing and she doesn't acknowledge anything he's doing. And I'm thinking it's very like, it's odd body language for a double date. But yet, the girl I'm there to see used the term double date. So like, they're a couple. They gotta be, right? And they all 3 know each other.
Oh no. Is this going where I think it's going? I
don't know. But anyway, so
was this a group date, not a double date? Like, were you all there dating each other?
No. I established that right after dinner.
Have you ever done a group date?
No, I don't know what. No,
I have. It's wild. I'll tell you about it.
No,
go ahead.
But so we have dinner, and the whole time there's like, if I knew this couple better, it was either really good jabs or really petty jabs at each other the whole fucking time, and I'm just like feeding it. Because that's, like, I don't know these people. I have no boat in this, I have no fucking car in this race. I'm here to watch somebody get hurt. So, like, I'm like, yeah, that does suck. What about shitty communication skills? Man, you shouldn't have burnt that roast. Whatever. Like, I don't remember the comments. This was like fucking 5 years ago. And so, like, we get done and we go downstairs and I ask her, I'm like, hey, what the fuck? Like, I thought it was a date. She goes, listen, I was really nervous. I was freaking out this morning. And my friends said that they would come on this date, make it a double date to try to calm my nerves. I said, okay, fine. I wish you would have communicated that to me earlier. That way I wasn't blindsided. I was like, but that's fine. No big deal. And like, I understand. You know what I mean? Like, I'm willing to give the benefit of the doubt. Like, obviously, if you weren't feeling it, you would have just fucking, like, stood me up or canceled. Either way, not a big deal. But, like, at least that showed she was going to try to commit. And I'm here for it. I'm here for it.
Are you still friends with that person?
No. Oh. But at this outdoor event, fucking, she the girl I'm there to see and the other girl like go to the bathroom and they disappear. Leave me and this dude who the whole dinner I didn't like because like the shit he said was real douchey. And I'm like, dude, fuck this guy. Like he was the best way I can describe it. He peaked in high school and he works for his dad's business.
Ah, yes.
Like that's the best way I can describe him. And so
I know those guys.
Yes, exactly right. So he's sitting there just fucking going on about God knows what, you know, fucking he's the plastic bag of people. Like you can find them anywhere. They're out blowing in the fucking streets. You know, they're not different. They're just there. You're their cookie cutter.
Right, NPCs.
Yes, exactly right. So I'm like, all right, dude, like he has no hobbies, no interests outside of your standard, like, I like sports. I don't play video games. I hunt. What do you hunt? Deer. Where do you go hunting at? Like, I know rednecks. They hunt all over the goddamn
I know
place.
redneck terminology.
Yeah. And he's like, just wherever.
You know, you do a really good redneck.
I work with a fuck ton of them.
Oh, I know.
So, but then me and this dude, I decide I got to take a piss. So I fucking ditch him. And then I run into the ladies. And then the girl I'm supposed to be there with disappears. And it turns into me and this chick talking. And this chick is with the fucking NPC guy, the garbage, the fucking plastic bag, supposed to be with him. But then me and her end up hanging out for like 2 hours, just bullshitting, having a great time.
Are you still friends with her?
Yes. Well, no, I haven't talked to her in over a year and a half, but I guess closer to 2 years. But yeah, like I think she deleted Facebook and shit. Like she was, last I recall, she was still with Plastic Bag, but that was it. But yeah, that's the worst or weirdest, not the worst. That's not the worst date story I have. I told you the worst one, but that's the weirdest date experience I've ever had.
All right, well, I got 2 stories for you. On to this group date thing.
Yes.
So, you know my thoughts on like monogamy and exclusivity.
Right.
Right? Unless it's discussed, it's not a thing. And I am somebody that does not feel that people are beholden to me if we're both single and we're talking, even if we're talking a lot. Like,
okay.
It's fine. If you want to be open with me, cool, I'll be open with you. If you tell me, hey, I am talking to other people, cool, I kind of expect that. We're not actually together. We're just getting to know each other.
So, I don't know if I asked this, but is there a point that you want monogamy and so you ask for it?
There has been points in my life where I've been like, hey, I would like to be exclusive. And typically if I catch feelings for somebody, it becomes more than just
we're boning.
Physical attraction, and we both have good personalities, because at some point I am an emotional person. I make that emotional connection with somebody. At that point, I want exclusivity.
Okay. And you make that a discussion.
Yes, I will bring it up.
Okay.
I haven't made it that far with anybody in over a year.
Right.
But anyways, so we're talking and she's like, I say something about, hey, I'm free this weekend. It's the only time I've got free in a while. Do you want to go out and do something? Mm-hmm. And at this point, we've both discussed like, hey, we're both talking to other people, blah, blah, blah. We were kind of like tops of each other's lists because I don't care. Like I will openly discuss that with people. And she's like, well, this other guy wants to go out. I was like, that's fine. Like, go do that. It doesn't matter to me. Like, I'll find something else to get into. She's like, wait a second. We can make this work. I'll go out with him and then I'll meet up with you. I was like, look, that's a lot of extra steps. Why don't we try an experiment here?
Oh, so you proposed this.
It started out as a joke.
Okay.
And somehow we made it a thing.
Okay.
I was like, why don't you just go out with the both of us and see if he's got another girl he's talking to and he can bring her too. So, like, and it was just a joke at first, but somehow in the joking and going over how it could go, we were both like, fuck it, let's do it.
Okay.
So she asked this other guy, she's like, hey, I'm going out with this other guy this night. I want to go out with you too that night. Are you talking to anybody else? And I guess he said yes. And she's like, can you talk this person in to we'll just all go out with each other. Me and said girl don't know who the fourth person is.
Right.
I mean, I don't really know who the third person is. I just know what we've discussed.
From either way of the scenario, you don't know the third or fourth person.
Right. Right. So the only person that knows multiple people in this situation are the girl I'm originally talking to and the guy that she's talking to besides me.
Correct. Yeah.
So he messages her back and says, "Yeah, let's do this. Fuck it." So he gets a girl to bring on this date. So we all meet up, and this poor fourth girl is completely blindsided. He did not tell her that it was a group date.
What the fuck?
Yeah.
God, oh, this poor girl.
I know. So, like, you could tell.
That's got to be humiliating.
You could tell she's fucking mortified. And I feel bad at this point because he wasn't open with her. And, like, I had really been feeling the girl I'm talking to. So, like, we started. And this poor girl, she's there for it. Like, but she's really quiet.
Is she an unwilling participant? Is that the vibe?
Yeah, it's a very unwilling participant vibe.
Gotcha.
And me and said girl are vibing really well, but her and this guy aren't vibing really well. Her second. Mm-hmm. And I just noticed this poor girl, you could tell she's ready to go. Mm. All right, so the other two, like, go to get drinks, and I sit close to this girl. Not uncomfortably close.
Yeah.
But close enough. I'm like, hey, I'm sorry. I thought you knew about this. Like, we don't have to, like, you can just be here for that guy. Like, it's okay with me. Mm-hmm. Like, I don't care. I don't want you to be uncomfortable. Well, I ended up going home with that girl.
Probably because you were like, because he fucking blindsided her and was rude as fuck. And she's like, oh, this guy's at least considerate. Who cares if he's a whore?
Yeah. So I ended up going home with that girl. She was super, super dope.
Right.
Real cool chick. We actually dated for a little while after that, just her and I. Mm-hmm. After that date, I actually told the girl I was with, I was like, hey, that was kind of a dick move on his part.
Yeah, no doubt.
She's like, yeah, it was. Like, we had this plan. And she's like, I'm not going to talk to him anymore. I was like, well, I'm going to talk to the girl he brought.
Yeah.
So...
yeah, he lost everything, dude. Like,
he lost everything.
That's a shitty gamble.
Yeah, so that was one of the weirdest experiences I had ever been a part of, but it was fun. It was cool. Like,
man, I would feel so bad for that poor little girl.
It would have been a lot better had everybody understood the assignment.
Oh yeah, if everyone understood and shit. But dude, the moment you are unwilling participant, like, man, that's fucked up. Like, thank God I can mold into a situation, like, fairly well, because I was thrown into a double date.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like, if I wasn't halfway as, I guess, personable as I am, like, I'd be all right.
Well, it's funny because I went home with her and the other two went home alone.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. Like, dude, you should have been honest and upfront. Honestly, I don't think the unwilling participant would have been cool with the idea of a group date.
Probably not.
Because, I mean, the average person isn't like that. Like, they're not like, they don't want to know that you're talking to somebody else. I personally don't want to know if you're talking to somebody else. I just don't care if you tell me.
So,
it's not information I'll like ask for, but if you tell me, I'm fine with it.
So, if somebody were to necessarily say, like, hey, we are not exclusive, but we are seeing each other, that's as much information as you want to know.
Yeah, that's all I really need to know. Like, my biggest thing is, hey, if we're sexually active, mm-hmm. and you say you don't want exclusivity and I like you enough to be like, hey, that's cool, or whatever. Because there is this weird in-between, right? There's a weird in-between.
I mean, I believe you. I have no idea.
Where I have to like you enough to date you, but I don't like you enough to have feelings and want exclusivity. Does that make sense? So there's this gray area where I'm willing to be in that situation.
In theory, I will agree with you, but in actuality, I cannot, because I don't understand. Like, me myself, and I understand where you're coming from in theory.
I guess it's the point where it's like, all right, I like you enough to sleep with you and to spend some time with you. But if you want to go do this, that means I can do it too.
Mm-hmm.
All right. I mean, everybody likes options. The problem is not everybody can remove emotion from the equation, which is perfectly fine.
Well, see, to me, like removing emotion is perfectly fine. Like, I can do that. That's easy. But if we even discuss dating, whether it be exclusivity or not, there's already emotion.
Right.
And I like dating to me implies exclusivity or whatever the fuck.
You know, I think saying taking emotion out of the equation is probably the wrong wording then. I guess you could almost look at it as a
maybe not sinking more emotion into it.
Right.
Deep emotion.
Right, because you've had a friends with benefits before, right?
Yeah.
So, I mean, I guess in all actuality, it's just like having a friends with benefit, but it's like having that little extra layer of being able to tell that person about your day and them wanting to hear it and you wanting to hear their day, but not necessarily like you don't want to live with this person.
I don't know, man. To me, that seems like, I mean, if I'm talking to you day in and day out or whatever, like and we are having sex and stuff like that, it is going to happen that I'm going to become emotionally invested. Dude, if I talk to somebody day in and day out, I will become emotionally invested. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's not, at that point, sex has nothing to do with it.
All right. So I guess the best way to explain this for me is I talk to you day in and day out pretty much, right?
Yeah, for the most part, I suppose.
But we're not into that kind of thing.
Yeah.
So the fact that when I can talk to somebody day in and day out, like, relationships are, if I can't be friends with you, then I don't want a relationship with you.
Right.
You know what I mean? Whereas you and I, we're friends, we're straight, so there's like no sexual thing there. So I can be friends with a girl and also be sexually attracted to her.
Hide all the flowers and chocolates that I have hidden away.
So I can be sexually attracted to her and just kind of want to just be friends, but at the same time, I am attracted to her. So like, if we do stuff, that's even better.
Well, I mean, that goes along with the whole adage, like, you know, like, it's difficult to have friends of the opposite gender. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like, it is initially difficult, I would say, but later on, after a while, like, if there is no advancement in that, you know what I'm saying? You can pull back and just say, hey, like, obviously the physical part of this is never going to get anywhere. And you develop a pseudo fucking, you know, like, just friend, or not pseudo friendship, but like actual friendship to where no physicality is needed.
Right.
So
I don't know. I got one more story. I'll try to make it quick.
Okay.
It's about my ex-wife, actually. God love her. Her and I are really good friends, but our first date, quote unquote, was extremely weird. All right, I'm not somebody that likes to like sleep with people on the first date. Mm-hmm. Like I am a hypersexual person, but I try to avoid sex on the first date.
Right.
So the first time we ever hung out, we had met each other in another fucked up situation. She was fuck buddies with one of my friends.
Okay.
And they didn't want to date each other. They were just fuck buddies. And I'm like, hey, I like her. She's cool. And so her and I started talking. So the first time I hung out with her was at her dad's house.
Okay.
With her sister there, her dad there, her oldest kid's dad there, and so two other people that I didn't know. She's like, hey, come down. I'm like, this is weird, but fuck it. I'll do it. So I show up and, like, you know me, I don't get quiet very often. But I was a little uncomfortable in this situation. I was a little quiet. Like, people would say, like,
I've seen you uncomfortable maybe 4 times.
I think what like opened me up to the situation is somebody's like, what do you do for a living? I said, I sell drugs. And they took it fine. They took the joke fine. So I was like, all right, maybe these people are all right. And so anyways, like, I'm like, at a certain point, I'm like, hey, you want to get out of here? So her and I leave, and we had talked about the movie Dirty Dancing. I'm like, I've never seen it.
Okay.
She's like, we're going to Walmart right now. We're going to go buy Dirty Dancing. So we go to Walmart. She buys a Blu-ray copy of Dirty Dancing, and we go back to my place to watch it.
Okay.
We pop it in. It doesn't work. Like the Blu-ray is warped or something. It just doesn't work. It won't play.
Okay.
I was like, well, shit, we come back here to watch Dirty Dancing. What the fuck are we going to do now? She's like, well, I didn't shave my legs, so we ain't having sex. I was like, that's fine. This is the first time hanging out. Well, 10 minutes later, we were having sex.
I don't fuck up the first date. I only take blowjobs.
Right? I don't do that. To me, a blowjob's more intimate than sex.
Yeah.
And I say that, but if I won't have sex with you, I will accept a blowjob.
Right.
But I won't go down on somebody unless I want to be with them. It's really weird.
All right. We're at enough time. I'm not diving down another fucking rabbit hole.
All right. So I guess that's it. That's what we got.
Yeah. So
In the meantime,
in the betweens time,
if you think your new girlfriend's got a dinger, you better call Springer. If your baby mama's kind of hoary, you better call Maury. Cue the music. We out.